Hey, hey, welcome. 6 minutes till class time. Make yourselves comfortable on your mats. Take some time to breathe. And I'll see you in 6. Hey, everybody, welcome. Still got 1 more minute, and just in case anybody's still logging in, we'll give them that minute, but just want to say hi. I hope y'all are doing well. Grab a block if you want to have a block nearby tonight. Always helpful just to have it in case you need it. And if you have a minute here, an extra minute, you feel like you're settled in your space, go ahead and just take a couple of breaths. Just be present with yourself. And then we'll come together in just a moment. I'm glad you're here. Let's start to move and breathe together. We're gonna start tonight in a self-supported fish pose. So I'm gonna take my palms down underneath my seat. So I'm sitting on my hands, fingers are pointing down toward the back of my heel. Bend at the elbows, so you make a 90-degree bend, and the upper arm bones are vertical. And then from there, allow the head to roll back, peel the outer edges of the shoulders back, and start to feel that line of breath that runs up through the throat, up toward the dome of the upper palate and the mouth. Breathe all the way back down into the belly. And so although this is self-supported, let it be restorative. Sink into the support of the arms and the elbows. So the hips pinning the hands down on the mat should help to alleviate some of the strain in the arms. And it's more the structure, the alignment of the bones that allows the body to drape and open. That's too much on the neck. You can always keep the head lifted, looking forward down the front of the body at the toes, but keep lifting the sternum up toward the chin and rolling the outer edges of the shoulders back, tucking the upper arm bones behind the body, and freeing up space from the very center of the heart out to the sides of the ribs. Breathe deeply. Full breath in. Complete breath out. And then start to nestle your back body down into the mat. Slide the arms out from underneath you. Turn the palms to face up. Take a moment in Shavasana. Back body melts into the floor. The mat hugs up around you. But you're left with that vast openness, spaciousness across the chest that you created, that you inspired, literally inspired with your inspiration, with your inhalation through the heart space. We'll keep coming back to this open heart again and again throughout the practice. So see if you can keep that open landscape throughout all the postures. Soften your jaw, let your head rock back into the floor, and take a couple easeful breaths. And then start to gather up the knees to the chest. Go ahead and hold the front of the shins with your two hands. Maybe rock yourself just a little side to side. And then with the spine, the body at center, pause there. Reach your arms out wide like a letter T. Take a big inhale. And drop your knees over to the left. Once they settle, you can exhale and melt the backs of the shoulders into the mat. Lengthen the plumb line from your tail all the way up to the top of your head. And then squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze the inner knees together. Take a big inhale deep into your belly and hover your knees over on that left side.
From the hovering position, we'll come back through center. And when the sacrum lands flat, extend the left leg forward and the right leg up into the air. Tuck the knees back in. Pull the belly down and float the knees over to the left. So same side. Keep the inner thighs squeezing together. Keep the knees and the feet floating over the mat, over the floor. Inhale, come back up through center and split the legs. Right leg up, left leg out. So we're just repeating, same side, same legs. Knees tuck in, pull the sides of the waist in toward the belly button and send the knees over to the left. Inhale, back up through center. Split the legs, right leg up, left leg out. Stretch from the core of your pelvis all the way out to the tips of your toes. And then bend the knees back in and contract at the abdomen. Keep that contraction to keep the support of the spine as you twist. Keep that contraction as you pull the hips back through center. And keep that contraction in your abdominals as you extend out through the legs. Good, pause here. Inhale, lift your left leg to meet the right. And exhale, lower it back down. Just the left leg moves. Inhale. Exhale. Breath with movement. Inhale. Exhale. Feel how simple it is. Inhale. And exhale. Pause. You have an option to just continue that, just moving the left leg. If you want to amplify the energy, amplify the strength, we're going to move just the right leg. So you choose, you're moving left leg or right leg. If it's the right leg, you're going to lower to a hover next to the left, and then lift vertically up into the air without letting your low back and your belly bridge up away from the floor. Lower, pull the abdominals in, and lift. If that left leg is still working, just do what we were doing before. Everybody's aware of abdominals, as though the leg's connected right to the belly button. And that's the command central for the movement of the legs. Soften in the neck. Make sure you've got that open heart space. So I'll do one more, either right leg or left leg. And then we'll finish with right leg up in the air, left leg out over the mat. Let that left heel land, and then let the whole left leg sink down into the floor. Reach and catch hold behind the right leg with your two hands, and give that ankle a couple circles. And circle the other way. And then circle into flexion so that the heel is reaching up toward the ceiling. And we're going to work with some of the seams on the legs. So the first seam goes from the sits bone. You can even feel it maybe with your fingers, the bony protrusion in the seat there, extending all the way out through the heel, that seam on the back of the leg. Keep that line really straight and long. Maybe bend the elbows and pull the thigh toward the belly, but keep reaching out through your heel. So we're trying not to break that line. We're keeping it nice and long and extended. And if that causes your pelvis to start to tilt and your low back to ground down into the floor, back off a little bit. Just really work the flexion of the foot, the spread of the toes. And my guess is you'll feel that in the hamstrings in a more meaningful way anyway, just by doing that. It doesn't matter how much you pull the leg to you. Now breathe. Let the leg fall into the right hand and keep it straight as you lower it out to the right. So I'm kind of stuck with a wall space here, but it's a little extra prop. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to push the knife edge of my foot into that wall. If you don't have a wall there, support your leg on the outside with your right hand, kind of with a 90-degree bend in the elbow again. And really think about the inner thigh lengthening all the way out to the inner ankle, to the inner arch of that foot. You're stretching out that inseam of the leg now. So the leg stays in line with the hips. Notice if it starts to drift forward or pull back. We'll keep it just in that plane of the hips. And then reach the left arm up and catch it. Keep the leg straight and let it fall over to the left, just to a hover. And again, you can create a support with the arm, with the left arm this time. So the leg doesn't fall completely to the floor, and we're still working with those long straight lines. Now this line comes from the outer hip of that right hip all the way down through the side of the knee to the outer ankle, to the outer arch or outer heel. So lengthening and opening the IT band. You might even feel that connection goes all the way up into the sacrum on the right side there, the sacroiliac joint. So it traverses the entire hip and goes up into the low back. So we've got this super highway of energy, this band that we're opening that runs through many parts of the body and connects them and relates them to one another. So those low back feelings that you have might actually might benefit from some work through the foot, right? Or through the ankle. And we'll bring that right leg back up through center. And then one more time, bend the elbows. See if you can pull that leg closer to you, keeping all those seams of the leg that we worked through straight. And then let go of the leg, lengthen it out onto the floor in front of you. Let it land longer than the left leg. Let that energy flush through the right side and pause. Perhaps more invigorating than those set of poses themselves is the feeling that comes at the release. Good. So knees into the chest again, and your low back will start to round into the mat a little bit. That's okay here. Take a couple breaths down into those creases of your hips where your hip flexors are resting. And then arms out wide like a T. Take a big breath in and drop your knees over to the right. We'll let them land to start and snuggle the backs of the shoulders, the upper back down into the floor. Breathe up and down the spine. And we'll start to build in the same way we did the other side. So start just by engaging the inner thighs, hugging the inner thighs and the inner knees together. And that will get some deep support in the lower abdominals. And take a big breath in, down into the belly, down into the waistline. It's like your life raft here. And then bring the knees back up through center. And we'll extend left leg up and right leg out. Good. Squeeze back in. So instead of using the arms, you're using your core strength, but hug the knees in and then drop them over to the right. Let them hover. Come back up through center and stretch left leg up, right leg out. And again, squeeze the thighs to the belly. Rotate the knees over to the right. Wrap them back to center. And stretch left leg up, right leg out. Squeeze. Twist. Unwind. Leg bend. Let's do one more. Tuck them in. Rotate, twist. Back to center. Left leg up, right leg out. Pause. Okay, position the arms any way you like here so that you feel supported, but Not so that you're crunching up in your shoulders, right? We're not trying to use the upper body. See if you can keep the upper body really relaxed. We'll inhale the right leg up to meet the left, and exhale, lower it down. Inhale. Exhale. And the pace of your breath might be different than mine, but notice if you can truly synchronize your breath with your movement. And notice if you can slow the both of them down and find a bit more harmony between the two. Good, last one here. And we'll pause with the right leg hovering over the mat, the left leg extended up into the air. Now it's your choice. Keep working that right leg up and down with just really thoughtful awareness, and you can really fine tune the abdominals that way, working on some of that lighter work with refining the work that the abs are doing. If you want to increase the intensity, then the left leg lowers and the left leg lifts. If you choose that option, make sure that you're moving slowly and with the breath, just as we were doing with the right leg. Try to keep it out of the shoulders and the neck and the face. Try to keep the lines of the legs long. Minimize the rocking in your back and your pelvis. Stay calm. We've all got one more. And with that left leg extending straight up, let the right leg drop down. Reach hold behind the left leg and just circle the ankle a few times. Roll through some of the muscles around the ankles, those stabilizer muscles and the calves. Then circle the other way. And circle right into flexion so that the heel is reaching up toward the ceiling. The whole sole of the foot is expanding and stretching. You might even feel a stretch in the sole of the foot there with the toes spreading out wide. And then if you like, bend the elbows, but keep extending your tailbone forward. So as you pull that leg toward you, again, it might kind of pick up the hip. So if I exaggerate here, it kind of rocks up like that, and you'll feel that tug and you'll feel that lift of the right leg. Can you lengthen the tailbone forward? Reach your sits bones forward, but still find that line from the sits bone all the way up the back of the leg to the back of the heel. And I love imagining my breath can travel those lines too, just in the way that we imagine the breath traveling from the low belly up through the lungs to the collarbones and back down through kind of that line through the torso. You can inhale up the line of the back of the leg and exhale back down to the root. Hold your leg in your left hand and let it open to the left. Again, maybe a bend in that elbow so that it's supported. And really all this action, all this lengthening is coming from the musculature of the leg. So you're pressing out through your heel and spreading through the sole of the foot. And careful that the right side of the body doesn't roll up away from the floor here. So add some weight to the right hip and the right leg and let the inner left thigh reach all the way out to the inner left ankle, inner left heel. And breathe through that line. And then let's switch, pass the leg over to the right hand, let it cross over the body, still in line with the hips. And support that leg so that it's floating. It's not dangling. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight to it. It's just extending. So from the outer hip all the way through that IT band channel to the outer heel. And then if you really flex the foot and peel the pinky toe edge of the foot back, then you'll start to feel that probably all the way up into the sacroiliac joint up here behind the hip in the low back. So by tending to the way we position the feet all the way down to the pinky toe, we might actually be clearing up space in the low back that tends to be really problematic. Let's bring that left leg back up through center. Make sure the back of the left hip plugs down, and then give it one more little squeeze. Lengthen, extend through the toes. Send that leg out long to the front of the mat. Slowly release it down a little bit longer than the right, and then pause. Feel that flush of energy. And then gather up the knees into the chest one more time. This time keep a hold of the hands on the knees. Tuck your chin up and down your spine. So we're kind of getting the alignment of the legs going, and now we're going to start to work along some of those lines. So rock and roll, rock and roll. Warm up the back body. And eventually we'll rock all the way up and over to tabletop. You can swing your legs out to the side. You can cross the ankles and roll over the shins, but we'll find tabletop together. And we'll move quickly through some cat and cow with some forceful breath. So it'll go like this. Inhale through cow, exhale through cat. So we're really starting to pump that energy from the core of the body out to the limbs. Keep working the abdominals as you do that. Do this opening, stretching, and then squeezing. Cat pose. Pause. Push down through your knees, push down through the tops of the feet. Really round and dome your upper back. Separate your shoulder blades. Breathe into your back body. Now drop the belly. Pull the chest forward, lift the chin, lift the tail. Stay in cow pose. Breathe into your front body. Lengthen from the pubic bone all the way up to the tip of the nose. Good. Pull the shoulder heads back, the armpits back, tuck the toes, and then lift those hips from cow pose straight up into the sky. As you reach your heels toward the floor, pull the belly button in so you take the sway out of the lumbar vertebrae. Long chain of spine, lengthening from crown of head to tail and downward facing dog. Breathe through it. Think about those lines in the legs that we stretched. Think about how we reach through the heels and spread through the toes. See if you can create all of those actions here in your downward facing dog as you take one more deep full breath. And then look toward the hands. Let's take a walk forward for this first round. Plant the feet between the hands, halfway lift, look out in front of you. And exhale, dive back down. A bend in the knees is okay. Deep forward fold into Uttanasana. Let's rise. Inhale, reach the arms up into the air. And then intertwine, sorry you can't see the wrists. So your palms pressed together up overhead with your wrists crossed. And we're gonna stretch down through the feet and up through the sides of the body. Keep the palms flattening toward one another and side bend to the right. Tailbone really heavy, front ribs drawn in. Inhale back up and exhale over to the left. So as the palms press into one another, it just helps to open up that side body even more. And inhale back up to center. And exhale, release the hands down, mountain pose, front of the mat. A sun salutation A, here we go. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Starting to move, but we're steady. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, take the hands to the floor, step the feet back to plank. We're here for the inhale too. Draw the shoulders back. Use that inhale to align. And then exhale to lower all the way to the floor. Shoulders pull back first, point the toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, peel the belly and the chest back down to the floor. Push up onto your knees or your toes, plank position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out, breathe up and down the spine. Breathe through the lines of the legs and the lines of the arms too. And let's keep it moving. Look forward towards your hands. Put a little bend in your knees. Step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Right into halfway lift. So that next in-breath pulls the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Belly down to the thighs. Inhale, rise up to stand. Right into chair pose. As you exhale, sink the hips back, bend the knees. Soften the inner edges of the shoulders, those trapezius muscles, but spread through the palms so you animate all the way through the lengths of the arms to the fingertips. Pull the navel in toward the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Plant the hands, step the feet back to plank as you breathe out. Use this inhale to draw the shoulders back, press the heart forward, and then exhale, lower, chaturanga or to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up into the air, breathe in. Step the right foot forward between the hands, breathe out. Spin the back heel down, stand up, warrior one, breathe in. Kick your hands down to the floor, breathe out. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Drop your back heel down, stand up. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, just bring the hands down to the floor. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. As we move, new doorways open, new pathways are created through the body, through the muscles, through the fascia, through the joints. Breathe through all those new pathways. Let's do that again. Look forward between the hands. Step, walker, hop, halfway lift, breathe in. Uttanasana as you forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose, Utkatasana, sink the hips, lift the arms, let the heart float up. And then press to stand, bring your hands down in front of your heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, chair pose. Pause in your chair. We're going to keep that right foot grounded, and we really want to think about the belly being lifted into the body here as we transition to float to warrior three and find balance. We want that hugging in, that lift of the front body to be there for us, to catch us as we move forward. So weight in the right foot, start to lean forward. Front body catches you, left leg extends back, reach out through your arms. Again, soften the trapezius muscles. So the animation of the arms comes from that outer seam all the way to the ring finger and pinky fingers. On an exhale, we'll put the hands down just before the front foot, just at the front of the mat there. Lengthen the chest forward, stay on the right fingertips, and start to peel the left side of the body open, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Good, bend into that standing leg. We're gonna flow right through here. Step back into warrior two. Drop the arms in front of the body, let them cross, and then inhale. Straighten the front leg, exhale, warrior two. Again, drop the arms, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. One more like that, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Take your right arm across your body. Go ahead and reach for that wrist or that forearm and pull the arm. So from the back of the shoulder all the way out to the fingertips, you're reaching. And then sweep that right arm behind your back. Hold the hands, interlace the fingers. Stretch the knuckles back behind you so the heart lifts up. And wrap the hands over to the left hip. Now squeeze your two elbows toward one another. Open up the chest. Inhale, free the arms, warrior two. Extended side angle, hand to the floor or elbow to the knee, left arm up and over. That's it. Warrior two, stand back up, drop weight from the outer hip, left hip into the left foot. Now spin on the ball of your back foot, take your two hands forward out in front of you, and inhale, cross at the wrist like we did in mountain pose in the beginning. Inhale, lift up here out of the sides of the body, but drop down from the outer hips into the feet. Unwind the wrists and sink into low lunge, pulling your hands to heart center, dipping your back knee down. Left hand to the floor, back knee lifts as you spin open, right hand to the sky, low lunge twist. We'll start to slide this right foot back. Come onto the pinky toe edge of the left foot and then hurdle, step behind. Inhale, open up, bridge the front body open. And then as you come around, start to lower your left knee down onto the floor. Come around, bring your right knee down onto the floor and slide your right arm underneath. Yeah, so you're threading the arm through in your tabletop. Reach the right arm up, unwind the chest, free the heart from the cage of the ribs, and exhale, two hands to the floor. Stand up like camel pose. Inhale, lace the wrists again. Good, pull the belly button in, lengthen the tailbone down. Stretch up and over to your right. And up through center. And then to the left. And up through center. Inhale, up again. Circle the arms back behind you. Maybe you catch your hips. Maybe you reach for your heels. Ustrasana, camel pose. Punch the heart up toward the sky. And then start to lift up through heart center. Bring your hands to the floor in front of you, tabletop. Move the hips toward the back of the wrists. Let the legs go straight. Lift your knees, push through your toes. You come right into upward facing dog. Breathe in. And then chaturanga. You can do it on your knees if you like. Bend the elbows. Push to plank. Plank to downward facing dog. So it's kind of a reverse vinyasa there. Just one more breath here in down dog. We're going to keep moving. Look forward toward your hands. Step walk or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift is your inhale. Forward fold is your exhale. Chair pose, sink your hips. Lift your chest, arms by the ears. And let's settle in. We'll get familiar with that sequence on the second side. Shoulder blades wash down the back. Fill up your low back with your breath. Shift your weight into your left leg. Keep this front body solid. Keep it lifted as you start to float forward via 3. Push back through your right leg. So find that seam from your sits bone all the way out to your heel and lengthen. And then do the same with the inseam and the outer seam, the IT band. Lengthen all sides of that leg back behind you. Float your fingertips down to the floor at the front of your mat, just in front of your left toes. Lengthen your spine. Start to hug your left hip in so you roll open, right side body stacks on top of the left, Ardha Chandrasana. Bend your standing leg, get low to the ground, transition to warrior 2. Drop the arms in front of the body. Inhale, sweep up straight in the front leg. Exhale, knee tracks right over that second toe, warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep your left arm across your chest. Go ahead and grab right hand around that forearm and pull. And then take your left arm behind your back, interlace your fingers. Reach back through your knuckles, lift your chest, and take your hands over to your right hip. Squeeze your elbows toward one another, make an orange juice behind you. And then stretch your arms out wide. And extended side angle variation of your choice. Exhale. Good. Firm into your feet, rise up, warrior 2. And then we'll start to spin on the ball of the back foot right into a crescent lunge. Wrap the wrists together, press the palms, inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, start to sink down into low lunge. Anjali Mudra, hands in front of the heart. Right hand down. Lift the back knee up, make that back leg straight and strong as you reach the left arm to the sky. Start to pivot onto the pinky toe edge of your right foot. Sweep the left leg back. Inhale, push through your legs, let the bridge come up through the back body and lift the chest. And then look down. Start to pivot back around, right knee down, slowly, left knee down, left arm threads under. Push the ground away with the right hand, reach the left arm up to the sky. Inhale, and exhale, 2 hands down, tabletop. Camel pose. Come up off of those hands, wrap the wrists together, press the palms. Inhale, drive the tailbone down. To the left first this time, side bend, exhale. Arms straight and strong, inhale, lift up. To the right, exhale. Keep the front hip points lifted, inhale. Circle the arms back behind you, hold your hips or reach for your heels, camel pose. Inhale, let the heart burst up. Exhale, push down into your knees. Start to unpeel. And bring your hands to the floor in front of you, tabletop. Melt the hips toward the back of the wrist, but as the hips sink, the legs get really strong. Push down through your toenails. Drag the floor back toward your hips with your palms. And then chaturanga, bend the elbows 90 degrees. Pause. You could be on your knees here. Push the ground away, plank pose. Downward facing dog, long spine. Breathe in and out. Breathe left and right. Breathe up and down. Breathe concentrically around the cylinder of the torso. Breathe through all the passageways and all the directions that your energy is flowing. And now that we know that, we're going to make it dance. So look forward toward your hands. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Step or walk to the top of the mat, right into halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale. Shift your weight into your right foot. 3, exhale. Expand, expand, inhale. Fingertips to the floor, exhale. Half moon, peel it open. Hug your outer right hip in. That IT band side of the right leg straight and strong. And then bend your right knee. Reach your left foot for the back of the mat, warrior 2. Let the arms go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right arm across. Go ahead and give it a little pull. Right hand behind. Interlace your fingers. Stretch the arms back. Lift the chest and wrap your hands to your outer left hip. Now pinch the elbows toward one another. Lift that right elbow up especially. And then free the arms. Stretch them out wide. Inhale. Extended side angle. Exhale. Back up to warrior 2. Inhale. Pivot around to face the front of the mat. Exhale. Arms up overhead. Lace the wrists and stretch up. Inhale. Exhale down into Anjaneyasana. Bend your back knee, soft landing. Left hand down, right hand to the sky. Back knee up. Inhale. Roll to the pinky toe edge of your back foot and step behind. Exhale. Now burst open. Inhale like a firework. And then slowly, slowly start to turn to face the mat. Left knee down, right knee down. Thread the right arm through. Take an inhale. Turn your heart to the left. And exhale. Reach the right arm up over the body. Unwind. And put the right hand down. Use your core to stand up strong. Interlace the wrists. Press the palms together. Inhale. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, straight arms, lift the hips up. Over to the left. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, circle the arms back behind you. Hold your hips or hold your heels. Camel pose. Inhale, push the heart up, push the knees down, lengthen through your thighs. And then look forward. Slowly plant the palms. From your tabletop right into up dog. Hips reach forward, kneecaps lift, toes press down. Chaturanga, bend the elbows. Keep that plank in the body. Push up. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. At the bottom of this exhale, start to walk toward your hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose, drop the hips, lift the heart. Shift the weight into your left leg, warrior 3, exhale. Inhale, reach out. And exhale, fingertips to the floor. Open up half moon, inhale. And start to step back. Exhale. Warrior two, we'll work the breath. Inhale. Drop down into the legs, exhale. Big explosion, inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale, big full breath. And exhale, settle into that warrior two. Pull the left arm across the chest. Reach for that forearm, and from the back of the shoulder, stretch out through the fingertips. Sweep the left arm behind you, interlace the fingers, and first lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and then wrap the hands to the outer right hip and pinch the elbows toward one another. Release the arms, stretch out, warrior two. Extended side angle. Take it in here. And take that exhale. Inhale back up, warrior two. Pivot on the ball of the back foot as you exhale, face the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up, cross the wrists, press the palms. Exhale, sink slowly down, hands to heart center, low lunge. Right hand to the floor, lift the back knee, back leg straight and strong, rotate the chest to the left. And then start to step left foot behind the right. Wild thing, lift up, open the chest, scoop the right shoulder blade behind you. And then look down. We move slowly through this transition, knee down, thread the arm through. Take an extra breath here. And then open up. Let the collarbone, arms reach. And two hands down to the floor. Use your core. Stand up on your knees. Cross your wrists. Good. Pull the belly in and lift up. Over to the left. Exhale. Inhale. Push the hands into one another. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back up to center. Camel pose, your variation. Hands on hips or hands on heels. Pull the belly button back toward the spine. Lift the heart. Let it jump up out of the rib cage. Look forward. Hands to the floor. Slide into your up dog. Pull the heart between the arms. Inhale. Chaturanga. Pull the belly up and in. Make the body straight and strong, and then push the ground away. Plank. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And breath out. What a beautiful dance. Let's look toward the hands. Step, walk, hop the feet forward. Halfway lift. We're still dancing. And forward fold. Chair pose. Drop the hips. Lift the heart. Float the arms. Sink a little bit lower. And back into forward fold. Hands come down to the floor. Step your feet back into plank. Knees down if you like. Take a moment to line up your plank. And as you exhale, let's lower all the way down. Let the elbows hinge straight back. And then once you're down, stretch the arms out like cactus arms or goalpost arms. So 90-degree bend in the elbows, and elbows about shoulder height. Legs back behind you, nice and long. Pull the low belly up away from the floor a little bit so you have that engagement, the support for the front of the spine. Keep that there and lift the rest of the body as well. Chest up, legs up. Now widen the elbows apart, widen the palms, and see if you can lift the forearms up and back. Keep the back of the neck long. Think about that wide, expansive space across the chest that we started with. It's here. And exhale, release down.
move right into a little bit of a more chest opener here. We're gonna crawl that right hand up a little bit toward the front of the mat so that the elbow is just above shoulder height, just maybe an inch above. And then left hand underneath your left shoulder. Start to push the left side of your body away from the mat so you roll toward your right side. And then you can lay your right ear down on the floor. And you can just play with how far you roll to that side, how much you start to open that pocket and the right side of the chest, the pectoral muscle there. You may even be able to come out of that a little bit, scoot your hips over toward that left edge of your mat and give yourself a little more space to work with there. Bringing your left foot behind you like we did for Wild Thing. But you know you've gone too far if the breath gets stifled. If it's hard to send the breath into that space that's being stretched, you know you've gone too far. You've closed it off rather than opened it up. So back off a little bit until you feel that breath flow right through the front of the shoulder, that armpit and chest area. We're creating pathways, not roadblocks. Soften your jaw. Notice anywhere else in the body where you feel like you're clenching. Anywhere you feel like maybe you're putting up a block rather than letting the energy flow. That's not bad. It's for our own protection. We want to give the nervous system a break here, signal to the whole body that we can lay down the armor. That we can trust ourselves to be super kind and intuitive about how we treat ourselves here on the mat. And let's let that go. Slowly lower your left side back down to the mat. And then we'll take that left elbow out, 90-degree bend, and maybe the elbow is just a smidgen above the shoulder. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, start to push the ground away, peel onto that left side. And again, maybe you kind of push your hips toward the right side of your mat. I feel that right away when I make that adjustment. And I don't need to go too far to feel it. Sometimes we get in some of these spaces that we didn't even know were tight, right? We do these stretches and we're like, wow, I didn't even know that was going on. But what we did know was going on was our necks were hurting or our backs were hurting. Sometimes these hidden pockets in the body, they hide, they conceal not only some of the physical tension, but then also kind of the emotional baggage that comes with it. And just like doing the dishes, sweeping the floor, cleaning the house, this practice, it's all about consistency and repetition. It's getting back in there and clearing out the cobwebs, dusting out the corners, reorganizing the closets. It's not a one and done job. It takes upkeep for sure. But the more we tend to it, then
less challenging some of the work becomes, the less daunting it becomes. Breathe through the space that you're clearing out. Open up to the idea that a simple stretch may make all the difference in how you feel physically, mentally, in your gut, in your heart. We don't have to necessarily know what we're looking for, what we find buried in some of these stretches that's potent and powerful. And slowly release that side. Wow. Roll the right side body back down to the mat. And then maybe make a pillow with the hands and rest your forehead. If you want to release the arms all the way down by your sides, you can do that too, and just drop one cheek, one ear toward the floor. That might feel nice across the shoulders. Let your body breathe. Let your whole body breathe. Allow your breath to roam all the way down to the soles of the feet. Allow it to spill into the low back and down into the hips. Allow it to spring up into the heart and the chest and the shoulders and the throat. Let the body be rocked by the breath. If you have one cheek on the mat, turn your other cheek down so you even out through the two sides of your neck. If it would feel nice, bring your big toes to point toward one another or to touch, and let your heels flop open. That orientation helps to internally spiral the thighs and open the landscape of the lower back. No fancy breathing here, just whole body breathing, integrated breathing. Oxygen that reaches every cell. Exhales that settle you, that nestle you down into the mat. Inhales that wash through you like a gentle breeze. And that sensation of being held by your breath, being rocked by your breath.
If your head is to the side, bring your chin or your forehead back to center. Line up the spine here for a breath or two. And then reorient the legs so that you can widen the knees apart. Hands underneath your shoulders and slink back into a child's pose. Letting your hips reach toward your heels. Letting the chest expand at the same time the low back expands, and so they mirror one another. They create these great fields of space around the heart. The heart can expand in all directions. And slowly sit back onto the heels or beside the heels until you come upright. You can cross the legs in front of you or stay sitting on your shins. And we'll take the arms out in front of the body, just right in front of the heart with the palms turned up. It's both an offering and a gesture of being ready to receive whatever comes next. Your hands are open, your heart is open. We're going to take an inhale and pull the elbows back behind the body, open the chest, and exhale, offer that out in front of you again. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. This time as you exhale, put your hands on your heart. Bow your gaze. Thanks for dancing with me. Have a great week. Namaste. Let me know if you have any questions. Send me a note, say hi. And I'll keep you posted on in-person classes. I hear they might be coming soon, so I'll let you know. But otherwise, we'll be here. Thanks, guys. Liz and Emily, thank you. Okay, guys. Take care.